Are you a woman in a high pressure career, or you own your own business and you're feeling overwhelmed and burnt out? Discover how to drastically reduce mental exhaustion and overwhelm. Now, in the next 4 minutes, I'm going to teach you all about this root cause of mental exhaustion, overwhelm, and burnout, which is called a high cognitive load, so that you can tackle overwhelm, tackle burnout effectively. And you know what? Just for watching, if you comment "end overwhelm" below this video, I'll send you a link to my free exclusive training that will further equip you with strategies to banish burnout and to thrive in your career and your business. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Anderson, and my clients call me Burnout Whisperer because over the last 20 years, I have helped more than 4,000 women from high pressure, high stakes careers and businesses banish burnout, end overwhelm, and thrive in all areas of their lives. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to show you how to understand this root cause of overwhelm and burnout for women and how to identify signs of cognitive overload in order to prevent overwhelm and burnout from ruining your life, your career. So, what is this cognitive load? Well, the cognitive load is the amount of information that our brain can deal with at once. And it's not just information in real time, it's all of the information that we're thinking of, trying to keep up with, trying to track, manage, and ensuring that it all gets done. So, have you ever watched a juggler at a circus trying to keep multiple balls in the air with seeming ease? It's pretty enchanting, right? But what happens when you throw in more balls than they can physically handle? Well, suddenly that ease turns into struggle, and they're at risk of dropping everything. And this is a perfect metaphor for what each of us, most of us, have experienced, which is that cognitive overload. So our brains are the jugglers, and our brain is constantly keeping our thoughts, emotions, information, all of those balls in the air. However, just like a juggler, our brains have a limit, and research tells us that this cognitive limit is about 7 chunks of information at a time. And you know what? That's exactly why telephone numbers were initially designed around this 7 chunk limit, right? To make them easier to remember, because that's what our brain can do well. So think about it like this. Have you ever needed to turn down the radio when you were driving and trying to find a certain destination, following directions, right? That's because the brain became so overloaded with all that information: where to go, how to drive the car, listening to the instructions, glancing at maps, trying to find the right street, that the brain shuts down certain parts of itself when it becomes overloaded, which is why you have a hard time listening to music and getting where you need to go. So, in our fast paced, technology driven, modern world, we are continually bombarded with information and tasks. It's like spectators throwing in more balls for the juggler, except in this case, the spectators are our phones, our computers, demands, pressures, to dos, must do nows, and all of these extra balls push us beyond our cognitive limit, leading to what we call cognitive overload. And this is particularly true for women who often find themselves multitasking due to societal expectations, being superwoman. It's as if you're expected to juggle more balls compared to your counterparts. So, how many times have you been the one to keep up with the kids' schedule, call the plumber, take the cat to the vet, and make sure flowers were sent to your spouse's aunt for her birthday? All the while, he's barely batted an eye and he just gets dressed and goes out the door for work. And you have to do all of that in addition to heading off to your own office to make sure that everything there is also getting done. So when we try to keep up with this frenzied pace, it is absolutely no wonder, it's no surprise that we become overwhelmed. And if this state of cognitive overload persists, it can lead to burnout, the mental equivalent of a juggler dropping all of their balls. So what does cognitive overload look like in real life? Well, it might show up as difficulty remembering things, brain fog, lack of motivation, trouble concentrating. You might find that you're feeling tired all of the time. And of course, you might experience that all too familiar sense of being constantly overwhelmed. But here's the good news. Just like a skilled juggler, we can learn and implement techniques to lower the cognitive load effectively so that you can prevent overwhelm, you can prevent burnout. And the first thing that you need to do is dump that mental to-do list that's keeping you awake at night so that you can stay present and focused, reducing the number of balls that you're trying to juggle at any given time. And then you need to eliminate all of the distractions. This helps your brain decide which balls are important to keep in the air, and which ones you can safely set aside for a while. And finally, automating routine tasks and demands to give yourself a break, a chance to rest and recover, preventing burnout and keeping your juggling act going. So remember, your brain is like a juggler, and cognitive overload is like trying to keep too many balls in the air. But with automation, eliminating tasks, and dumping the mental to-do list, you can manage those balls. You can prevent cognitive overload, and you can protect your well-being. So I hope you found this information helpful. Remember, just for watching, if you comment "End Overwhelm," I'll send you a link to my free exclusive training that will provide you with even more strategies to overcome overwhelm and burnout. So let's work together to thrive in your high pressure career and business.